thanks for watching this little video. Lawns are a bit wet for mowing today, so I thought I'd get Big Chief out. I've got another little job to take care of. So since I got the opportunity and got it out, I thought I'd have a little chat about it. I only had that one little slideshow up, the very first video that I made for this channel. So go back and have a look at that. There's a few fun facts and little bits and pieces about the dates and the stuff that I've done and actually restoring this to the state you see it in now. So that was done coming up 8 years ago now, 2013 I finished it. Excuse the traffic noise, I live on a main road, so I'll wait for cars to go past and I'll try and avoid that. But yeah, so 1960s built, 6 of these were built in Masterton in New Zealand in the early 1960s. So the gentleman that built it, Gordon Blackwood, worked for, so Gordon worked for a company called Barnes the Mower People, AFN Barnes Limited. They were known as Barnes the Mower People in Masterton, down in New Zealand. So yeah, they were given the distinction, or the acronym for them was BBE, named after Barnes, Blackwood and Evans. The Barnes, obviously the owners of the company, Mr. Blackwood and Mr. Evans were the workers there. So yeah, I guess I'll take you off the tripod, have a little walk around and talk about this thing. So yeah, apologies again for the traffic noise and cars around behind me. It's easier to take you off the tripod, you can hear me better. So yeah, here we go, 1960 Big Chief. 6 of these were made. I know of, well, I've got photos of 2 of the others. One is in a museum, Mount Bruce Museum. Mr. Henry Christensen owns that one. And another one is down in Christchurch, a place called Mayfield. So first registered, I've got ownership papers of this thing from 1971, when a place where my grandfather worked owned it. He sold it to my grandfather, and then it's since been in my family since then. So we've got a 10 horsepower Briggs & Stratton cast iron engine in here. I was lucky enough when I did the restoration of this to get in touch with someone from Briggs & Stratton, confirmed through the numbers and things, the age and the factory. This came out of the #1 factory in Milwaukee. So it's quite a neat little engine. Has a Delco Remy starter generator in here, pulley and belt drive. Can be started by hand. It's got its own magneto and its own coil in there on the flywheel that generates its own spark. But the electric starter generator starts it off the battery, and then there's a voltage regulator up in here. So once its revs come up a little bit, starts outputting a charge and recharges the battery. 4-speed with reverse transaxle in here. I don't know if we can see under there very well, but anyways, it shares the same transaxle and diff setup as another tractor that was mass produced in factories here called a Power Pony. This sort of predates those. I'm not sure by how much the Power Ponies were made through the later 60s and 70s. I think possibly into the early 80s. I'm not 100% on that one. Story behind these things being made was that a gentleman with a poultry farm down that way travelled overseas, saw these small tractors overseas in other countries or wherever he was, and decided he needed something like this for moving his poultry, his hen houses and his things around. Came back to New Zealand. They obviously weren't being made here at that stage, weren't being imported at that stage. So he approached the Barnes guys, Barnes the Mower People, AFN Barnes, to manufacture. Instead of making just a one-off tractor for him, they put a little production together and made 6 of these. So yeah, I've got my one, one in the museum, one in Mayfield. There's another one that I think is on the west coast, and I'm still waiting to hear back from a dude that I met at Farming Like Grandad last year about one that he possibly has, or he thinks he's got, but we've got to confirm it 100%. Fairly sure it is though. He had a really good look at mine, and now he's compared it with his, and pretty sure it's the same. So yeah, we did a full restoration on this. It took me 12 months, 2012, end of 2012 to the end of 2013. Gordon was still around when I completed this, so I was really happy that I was able to complete this sort of in his honour, really, and get a photo album to him for Christmas. Sadly, he's passed away now. have been in touch with his daughter since then and sent her, I've had a newspaper article done about this, so sent her a copy of that. There's a lot of memorabilia. Gordon was a very clever man, had a lot of achievements in his life with farming equipment and different bits and pieces. So yeah, righto, we've got a little job to do today, getting a tree stump out, so we'll go and have a little look around the yard and I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, so sometime last year we had a bit of a storm around here, and this tree, used to be quite a large tree, came down in the front yard. Half of it came down across the neighbour's driveway. Got a nice early morning wake up call to come out and help him get rid of the part that came off that side, and then we decided that it was safer to take the rest of the tree down as well. Yeah, it was quite large and it was rotting through the centre, so now we've got this great big stump in the middle of the lawn here. Now, biggest problem is that we've got roots all the way out around here. Also, the main water main to the property, here's our water meter here, and the water main runs straight up under the fence there, or past the next tree, under the fence and into the house. So yeah, this stump is a huge problem, and all that being said, we're going to leave it alone, come up here and take care of this little guy instead. So there was a little camellia tree here that, being overshadowed by this monster, wasn't getting enough sun and it just died off. So we backed the trailer into here to unload the firewood, and it just got in the way, so we chopped it off at ground level there. But now I just have this problem when I come up here with the lawnmower and other stuff that I'm going to bang into that. So I'm going to dig a little bit out around it, get a rope around there and see if Big Chief can't pull it out. I did a similar job in the backyard with another little one, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, but I didn't film that, so we'll start digging, have a go at this one, see what happens. Alrighty, so I've dug down a bit more, loosened up everything around the front of this hole here. I'd like to get that rope down lower, but for now I'm just going to try and pull it from there and just see if I can't loosen things up around the back of the hole there, and then run the spade in and cut some of the roots that are in there. So yeah, got a little lasso around there, rope's running out on the lawn down to here, so we'll bring Big Chief up, hook her on and see how well it pulls. So a little bit of a story. Old Gordon, when he built these things, he had a bit of a rivalry with a mechanic, I believe, in the bus company across the road, and just to prove the strength of these, legend has it that it was hooked onto a 40-seater bus. Probably back in those days it would have been a D-series Ford, maybe. Ford bus, 40-seater, full of people, and towed it 50 metres down one of the main streets of Masterton, just to prove a point that these things have the strength. So it's really low geared. I forgot to say, when I rebuilt this, I've had the back wheels have been refilled with water to give it some extra weight and some extra traction. It has had the sprocket for the input on the diff changed, so there was a double-sided sprocket, small and a large on there. Real mission to change that around. It means dropping the diff out, because the sprocket runs and the chain runs right against the chassis rail, so you actually have to drop the diff, take the chain off, take the sprocket off, put the sprocket back on, put the diff back in, and then either shorten or lengthen the chain depending on which way you go. But yeah, I've got it on a slightly higher ratio because it's registered to go on the road, and I take it in parades and events and stuff. I thought a little bit of extra speed would be handy. I have got an even smaller sprocket to input, and that would make it even faster, but I don't want to do that and lose the strength down low. So anyways, we'll yeah, turn the gas on, fire it up, take it up on the lawn and have a go at this. Right, so we're ready for about attempt number 6, I think, now. So as you can see, I took the rope off and I got dug down right underneath the front of the stump this time, give it a bit more room under there to twist. It's got some decent roots under there. I was quite surprised. So anyways, we'll have a go, another go, see what happens. Alright, so you can see the size of the hole we've got now. And down the back here, you know, about where the handle is sitting there is where the stump started out. So what I'm going to do though is take this pressure off the rope, release it back, dig a whole lot more out around the front of it to free it up, and then yeah, go and have a drink of water, come back and have another go. Just sort of, yeah, take a break for a little while. Got to free up some space on this memory card too. So by the way, if anyone wants to sponsor me a new shovel or a spade or some gardening equipment, you know, give you a sponsored shot in a video somewhere. Who knows, this thing's yeah, seen better days. That's all I've got. So alright, I'm going to take a break, get back into it soon. Okay, so I've cut through that last root, just chipped through it with the little shovel there, spade, and yeah, broken it off. So moment of truth now, I'll set you up on a good angle and I'll drag this thing out of the hole. She'll be all over. Who would have thought it, eh? I mean, look how tiny that thing is in the end, but you know, the way that root system was and the root ball down there, you can see some of them that's broken off. If I didn't use Big Chief, I would have been digging and you know, having a bit more of a battle. So yeah, it's got its strength. I live in town, you know, there's houses and stuff all around. It's not like I can get big agricultural machinery in here to do it. Could have got a stump grinder guy in to do it, but he probably would have laughed at such a small stump. Probably could have just dug around it and chainsawed it off, to be honest, but hey, you know, where's the fun in that? Got this old machine, of old Big Chief, and you know, for born in 1960, not doing too bad for its age, eh? To still be able to work, you know, show what it was made for. Had a few people comment, you know, at Farming Like Grandad and stuff, that it was just a toy, that it was, you know, just made for show and just a toy, but these were working tractors. You know, I think I put up the photos, or I'll put up the photos if I haven't already, of the guy's tractor down in Mayfield. They take that to shows, but it still works on a farm down there. I believe it still works. It was still working when I was in contact with them, but that was going back about 7 years. Who knows? Anyways, thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Yeah, Big Chief versus the tree stump. Not the tree stump we originally, you know, talked about, but hey, it's a tree stump and it's gone, it's out. I'll fill in the hole now and get some grass growing over it. If you liked the video, you know, hit that like button, show some appreciation, I guess. Hit the subscribe button too. I need to get these subscriber numbers going. Subscribes, views, share this. It's a bit of fun. Made this video for a bit of fun. Hope it isn't dragged out too long. But yeah, see you next time. Thanks for watching.